Now let's say we have multiple steps for our equations. The question is, how do we handle it? Well, this is where our Pemdas will come in handy. And again, we're going to go in reverse order. So we'll look for our additions and subtractions, multiplications and divisions, and the exponents and parentheses first. So let's assume that we have an equation that's 4x plus 4 equals 24. So we have this equation and we want to solve for x. So the first thing to know is, what are we going to try and get rid of first? We have a multiplication here. So we have the multiplication. And we have an addition here. So when we look at our chart over here to the right, it says, well, if you have a multiplication and addition, we have to get rid of the addition first. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is, since this is addition, we're going to subtract 4 from this side. And these will cancel out. And we'll end up with 4x. What we do to one side, we'll have to do to the other. So we're going to subtract 4 from this side. And we end up with 24 minus 4, and that equals 20. So we now have 4x equals 20. So we're not complete yet. But now we have our single step equation. So since it's a multiplication, we can now divide this side by 4. And we can divide this side by 4. And we end up with x is equal to 5. And that's our solution. So let's try another one. We'll try w divided by 3 minus 9 equals 3. We'll try this one. So again, we have a division here, and we have a subtraction. So we're going to get rid of the subtraction first. So in this case, what we'll do is we will plus 9 on this side. These will cancel out. But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're going to do a plus 9 over here. What we're left with here is we're left with the w divided by 3 equals 12, because 3 plus 9 is 12. Now, since I have a fraction or a division over here, I'm going to multiply by 3. That will cancel these out. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So we will multiply by 3 over here. And we end up with w is equal to 12 times 3, or 36. So let's take a look at another one here, doing the same thing. We're going to actually take 4/5 m plus 2. We'll say that equals 6. So again, what we're going to do here is we're going to, using the Pemdas, we're going to get rid of our addition first. So we'll do minus 2 on this side. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. So we'll subtract 2 from both sides. We end up with 4/5 m, because this will cancel out, equals, we're going to get 6 minus 2 is positive 4. Now, since we have 4/5 m, recall from the previous video that in order to get rid of the fraction, we need to multiply it by the reciprocal, which in this case is 5/4. And when we do that, these will all cancel out to give us 1. So we end up with m on this side. And on this side, we have to multiply this by 5/4 as well, because what we did to the left side, we must do to the right side. And when we do that, these will cancel out. And we end up with 1 times 5, or 5. We'll take one more, and we'll do c plus 2 divided by 3 equals 6. So now here, the problem that we have is that we have the c plus 2, and all of this is over the 3. So the addition isn't really separated from the division. This division will actually come first. Because if I were to write this, I really would have parentheses around these, because this would have to be done together. So what we'll end up doing is we're going to get rid of this division here first. So what we'll do is we're going to multiply this by 3 on this side. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. So we're going to do multiply by 3. We end up with c plus 2, because these will cancel, equals, and then 6 times 3 is 18. Now we're left with a single step equation. We can do minus 2 on this side. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. And we end up with c on the left side, and we end up with 16 on the right side.